So, ang pwede ito tabi. And then guys, we add some coriander. It's a small amount of coriander guys to get some flavor in it. And that's it really guys. Mix it all together. So now then guys, we can put this in the plate in a minute. So So this video guys, with the fried potato and the tuna is now is 10 minutes guys. 10 minutes is how quick it is guys, you know. So we can plate this guys, so we can off. And here is the plate. Here's the fried potato guys. Remove that. So guys, here it is. Tuna with, I can show you closely in a minute guys. So here it is guys. Fried potato guys with tuna and onion. Guys, I make this guys for the topping with the pizza. So I fried the onion and the mushroom first before I put it in the oven later on. Topping with the pizza this guys. Steaming. So what I put in it guys is a little bit of turmeric, pepper, coriander, and a little bit of salt and a little bit of butter, and that's it guys. That will be the topping of my pizza tonight. Hi guys, so I made some pizza for dinner tonight guys. What you having? So I will take a video in it guys when it's done. So I put this in the oven for 12 minutes only guys, and look closely guys. So here it is guys, it's done. This is my homemade pizza guys. It look tasty and yummy, isn't it guys? And please everyone, don't forget to subscribe and watch my video guys. And thank you so much for following me here in TikTok. Thank you guys. See you in my next video guys. And look closely in this guys, look.
that you can eat every single day and not get tired of. And I'm not talking about something that you eat.
Whether I'm going to bring you the perfect dish. And I know I say it all the time, but turkey and shaki are Alex's favourite, so of course I know he's going to love this one. So if you haven't guessed it already, I'm bringing you peppered shaki and peppered turkey. Moving on to the recipe, I don't want to bore you with how I cook my meat, you already know how I do that. But of course, I do take the time to prepare all my other ingredients. First things first, I did blend the ingredients on screen and chop an onion. I add my onion into hot oil, followed by a pinch of salt, some tomato paste and all the other spices on screen. Remember not to burn the spices, so when that's nice and cooked, I take it off of the heat, put it in a bowl and reduce my tomato blended mixture. Just a quick tip, if you do want to speed up the reducing process, you can roast your vegetables before blending. If not, it's no worries, I didn't do this, it just takes a little bit longer to reduce. Moving on to my meat, I fry this off until nice and golden brown. I then add the tomato paste mixture followed by my meat back into my reduced tomato blended mixture. At this point you want to stir through thoroughly, making sure that all of your meat is nice and evenly covered. Now on to the last step, I add in 1 onion, 1 red pepper and 1 green pepper and cook for about 5 more minutes. And look how colourful that is, I think it's perfect. And there you have it, serve it up with a cold brew as a starter or a side, or pair with some white rice to make a nice tasty main course. And that's what I would call a winner-winner turkey and shaki dinner. I'm still quite cautious around the crowds because of COVID, especially as I'm pregnant. So, since we've been stuck at home, I've decided to bring the restaurant to Alex, being the perfect wifey that I am. Onto the food, I finished my puree and I'm now on to making my mashed potato. I boiled my potatoes until nice and soft. I added butter, pepper and cream and mashed into a nice creamy consistency. I placed those to one side whilst I focused on making my butter fried salmon. I melted my butter over a low heat, added my salmon and I fried this for around 3 to 4 minutes on each side. I then went ahead and added the zest and the juice of half of a lemon, followed by my cream. I let the salmon sit on a low heat in the cream for about 3 more minutes before removing. I then go ahead and continue to make my cream of parsley sauce. I added all of the ingredients on screen and mixed thoroughly. I also blanched my asparagus until nice and soft and seasoned with rock sea salt. Now onto the main event, and my favourite part is plating the dish. Of course, this part is optional, but I would advise to use as much creativity and inspiration as you want to. As you saw, I ran my garlic and pea puree down one side of the dish whilst focusing my mashed potato and my salmon on the other side. I finished the
guide to making our mac and cheese burger buns. Into a large frying pan, mix together 30 grams of butter, 30 grams of plain flour, and 400 milliliters of whole milk. Then add in 50 grams of Parmesan cheese, 100 grams of grated mozzarella cheese, 50 grams of mature cheddar cheese, and a sprinkling of pepper. Mix that all together and then add in 250 grams of cooked small macaroni shells. Next up, pour the macaroni into a large baking tray lined with grease-proof paper and then pop it into the fridge for 30 minutes. Once cooled, use a 10cm cookie cutter to cut out 6 to 8 buns. Into 200 grams of plain flour, add 1 tablespoon of mustard powder, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs. Then, in a separate bowl, beat together 2 eggs, and in another bowl, have 200 grams of panko breadcrumbs waiting for you. Now it's time to deep fry. And one by one, place the macaroni buns gently in the oil and fry for 3 to 4 minutes until golden brown. Then remove with a slotted spoon and drain onto a paper towel lined plate. Place a cheese top burger patty between 2 of the mac and cheese buns and be sure to top with whatever you fancy. Let us know if you give these buns
You would have seen this before, but today I'm pairing mine with the meat in the freezer, shaki turkey and beef. I keep saying this is Alex's go-to meat, but I had to of course add my own meat in too. A bit of a backstory, I'm a little bit low in iron due to my pregnancy, so as much red meat as possible is great. Hence why I've also added in beef. Of course, you guys can add in whatever meat you fancy. So as you saw, I've started cooking my meat, and when that's nearly ready, I start to prepare my rice. I take my meat out from the stock, leave my stock in the pan, add water to accommodate my rice. I then add in my curry powder and get cracking on the other ingredients. I will just say though, fried rice has got me thinking, would I ever trade jollof and fried rice? I just don't think I can. I just love them both so much, but I will for sure be making fried rice a lot more as I loved my recipe. Back to the food, I've added all of the ingredients on screen into my pan. And of course, with the traditional fried rice recipe, it's at this point that you would add liver. But I think I've mentioned to you guys before, my midwife has told me to stay well away. But with my iron deficiency, I might have to give it a go. And I know I've mentioned this before and I can't stress it enough. I understand and know that there are other ways of making this recipe, but this is just my way. And of course, this is how Alex and I like it. In a separate pan, I've added all of the ingredients that you would have seen on the screen. I've let that cook for about 5 minutes before adding in my meat. I let that cook through for a further 5 minutes just to warm the meat up. Of course, it's already cooked. If Alex just came to me and said, babe, I've been thinking about going vegan recently. I did have a little giggle, but I did think it was a bit fishy, so I thought I'd make him a fish dish. May I add, the whole time I was singing, something fishy's going down, something fishy, oh, why you do me so, my baby, oh. At least I know David O's got my back. And by the way, this is from the same guy who eats chicken bones. Anyway, guys, enough about Alex, but listen to this. I'm on a mission and I'm going to need your help. What I want to do is recreate a recipe from each of the 54 countries of Africa. I'm not just doing this to show appreciation, it's actually more to expand my own knowledge around the countries that I haven't even cooked before. But going back to your help, I will need you guys to recommend some awesome dishes that you would like to see, and also, where do I start? As a side note, I'm about to pop in about 4 weeks, so I think it will have to wait until after then. I just need to focus on this little prince. But this is something I'm super excited about and I'm so happy to have you guys involved too. So be sure to drop me a comment and slide over to my Instagram DMs to start recommending some awesome recipes. I do need to get planning. Now, if you've been watching this video along, you'll probably recognise this recipe. This is today, with all the looting and rioting going on in South Africa, the death toll has reached over 300. So I start this video off by saying, firstly, if you are out in South Africa, please be safe. And if anyone you know has been affected by this, please ensure they get to safety as soon as possible. I am so sorry. With that being said, today I'm making a South African dish to help raise positivity and pay tribute. This dish is called Durban prawn curry. Now, I am aware that this can be cooked in various different ways, so I took a little bit of each recipe that I read and made it my own. But do let me know in the comments down below if you cook it exactly the same way or if you cook it slightly different. As you saw, I marinated my prawns in the ingredients on the screen and lightly fried until cooked. Using the same oil, I go ahead and add in 1 onion, a cinnamon stick, 2 fresh chilies and some bay leaves. Now, the next step is to add in all of the spices. Just a quick tip, you want to make sure that your pan is on a low heat. You want to prevent the spices from burning or overcooking, as they do turn slightly bitter. And when you do add in your spices, don't worry if they do look slightly burnt. This is just all the flavours and all the colours coming together. I will also just say this dish was slightly harder for me to make as I couldn't taste it throughout like I normally do. If you know or if you don't know, I am allergic to shellfish. So again, Alex will have to enjoy this one all to himself. Which, actually thinking about it, I'm sure he probably won't mind. Now back to the food, I've added in all of the ingredients on screen. I finished off with a handful of fresh coriander and the juice of half a lemon. This part of course is optional, but I think it gives it a pop of colour and a pop of flavour. Now onto my favourite part is plating the dish. With it being a curry, I thought it would pair perfectly with some plain white rice. You can, however, pair this with whatever you fancy. I'm sure it would taste brilliant with pasta too. Also, this probably took under half an hour to cook, which in my eyes is fantastic.
Water, add your pasta. Once it's cooked, drain. Toss it in a bowl, drizzle some olive oil, oregano, tomato paste, some garlic powder of course, plenty of Parmesan cheese, cracked pepper and salt. Toss that all together and pop it in your air fryer. For our avocado dip, in a food processor, add your garlic, avocado, parsley, drizzle with olive oil, salt and pepper, squeeze in some lemon, and there you have it.
So I feel like this video needs an age restriction because it's absolute bloody filth. I've got a couple of baps, my knees in the bottom halves. Get yourself some tomato puree, spread it all over. Nice layer of mozzarella on these, generous amounts of it. I've got some of these mini pepperonis as well. Just sprinkle some of them on. Use normal ones, whatever you can get hold of though. Under your grill, 3 to 4 minutes. Medium heat pan, a couple of frozen burgers and some streaky bacon. Cook the burgers through. Get that bacon nice and crispy. Drop your fries and plastic cheese on them burgers, of course. Layer them on top of one another. You've now got all the elements to assemble. So your first pizza, you can even call it a pizza. Your fries, line them up nice, make it look pretty. Any sauce of your choice. Your bacon double cheeseburger, jalapenos, and your top pizza. And fuck me, heart attack.
の高橋克也と言います。お店の名前はリンリンと言います。今日食べていただくのはラーメンで330円です。That's so cheap. How is that possible?
This one has got to be in my top 5 favourite meals. Proper comfort food that just brings a smile to your face. Got a pan screaming hot. I've added a little bit of bacon. Soon it's got a bit of colour on it. Go on with your sausages. You want to aim to get as much flavour into this pan as you can. You're going to brown off these sausages and put them to one side. Doesn't matter if they're cooked through at this point. Then into the same pan, good slab of butter and a couple of onions. You want to let these caramelise for about half an hour. Gives you time to get your potatoes prepped up and onto boil. Don't forget to season that water. Just look after these onions. They've been going for about half an hour at this point. I'm going to stir in some flour and then add red wine. Let this red wine reduce and cook away the alcohol. Then add English mustard, salt, pepper and Worcestershire sauce. Give it another mix. Then I'm adding thyme. Cover the whole lot in beef stock. And I'm going to let it simmer 20 minutes. You notice this starts to thicken. Then remove the herbs and return the sausages into the pan. Let it go for another 5 minutes. When the potatoes are done, drain them off and give them a good season of salt and pepper. Add a generous amount of butter and get mashing. You can pass them through a sieve if you want them even smoother. I'm adding a little bit of milk into mine. You can use cream. You can even add cheese if you like. Stir in some fresh parsley and there's time to plate. So good bed of mash, your sausages and just spoon over that gorgeous gravy. That'll bring a smile to your face, nothing will. Garnish with a bit of parsley. If we're not posting in a while, simply just been busy with life. This one's worth the wait. First for the dry rub into a bowl, brown sugar, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper. Give this a good mix and massage this into your ribs. Just rub it all over on both sides. Then get them into your slow cooker. Add a drop of water in the bottom to keep them moist. Now for your sauce, your favourite barbecue sauce, brown sugar, a little bit of cayenne, Worcestershire sauce, garlic, a little bit of ketchup. Mix this well and smother this in your ribs. So when I'm watching the Wolves, I tend to opt for a Balti pie. But there's something you can do from home that's equally as good. Honey barbecue chicken wings. Trim down your wings so look a little bit more traditional. Get them in a bowl covering paprika, garlic powder, chili powder, loads of salt and pepper. Mix them well. Make sure every wing's getting a bit of everything. Then cover in corn flour. Deep fry until they're golden, brown and crispy. Now for your sauce, so butter, your favourite barbecue sauce, a little bit of honey, a little bit of ketchup. Mix this well. Let it simmer on a low heat, 5 minutes. Once those wings are cooked and crispy, get them in a bowl. Cover them in that gorgeous sauce. Now it is optional. Let's get mine in a griddle pan for a bit of caramelisation. Just look after them. They will burn quick otherwise. So I'm going to show you how to do my roast chickens for my Sunday dinners. Preheating my oven to 180. Underneath the skin on top of its breasts, a couple of slabs of butter. Generous amount of salt and pepper all over. Then into a bowl I've got some softened butter, garlic, rosemary, thyme, a little bit of lemon juice. Just mash it together with the back of a fork. Cover the entire chicken with this butter. Lemon wedge and a sprig of rosemary up its batter. Then into the oven. At the 45-minute mark, take it out and give it a good baste. Just look after it. You want it to be nice, tender and juicy. Back into the oven for another 45 minutes. Let it rest for 10 minutes. Quick one you can chuck together in 15 minutes after work. Couple of cheap steaks. Heavy on the salt and pepper. Get a pan screaming hot. Lay those steaks away. Couple of minutes on each side for me, but cook them to your liking. Then let them rest. Sesame all into the same pan. Then add chilies, ginger, garlic, tender stem broccolis, spring onions, and give this a toss for a minute or so. Then add your noodles. Any type of noodles are fine. Totally your preference. Then soy sauce. Let that go for another minute or so and put it to one side. All into the same pan. 2 beaten eggs. Stir straight away. Don't let it turn into an omelette. Then return your noodles back to the pan. Give it a stir. Then add your steak in thinly sliced. Give it another mix. It really is as simple as that. Bon appetit.